Good day, everyone. Welcome to Real Conservative Headline News. I'm your host, Nathaniel Rajkumar. Starting off locally here in Trinidad and Tobago, and even in my own district of Sangre Grande. The sports company of Trinidad and Tobago, Sport TT, officially reopens the Northeastern Regional Multi-Purpose Sport Facility in Sangre Grande. Featuring 2 indoor courts over 1,600 square meters, a restored 8,500 square meter outdoor playing field, and brand new field lights by the Trinidad and Tobago Electricity Commission. Minister of Sport and Youth Affairs, the Honorable Philip Watts, joined the Honorable Wayne Sturge, Member of Parliament for Toko Sangre Grande, Minister of Defense, and Minister in the Ministry of Homeland Security, alongside Ministry of Public Utilities, Parliament Secretary Shivana Sam, Sport TT CEO Jason Williams, and other key officials for the night's ribbon cutting. This is now TNT's largest indoor multi-sport facility, a new home for basketball, volleyball, and netball, and definitely it's going to benefit the youths of our area. So congratulations to the state officials. I believe this renovation began under the PNM administration, so give credit to them as well. But of course, for completing the process, must thank the Kamala Prasad administration. And I hope that this expands even more. Build a whole lot more community centers throughout all the districts in Trinidad and Tobago, so that there can be programs put in place on a weekend for our youths to get involved in. No more overheating phones. Cool your phones in seconds. Prevents damage to phones and battery issues. Better gaming experience and streaming. USB powered and fast charging. Lightweight and quiet. Ideal for kids and adults. Works with all smartphones. Makes a great gift. Enjoy free island-wide delivery. Call or WhatsApp 868-762-6589. Some more local news. 5 TNT nationals will be recognized for their excellence, resilience, and impact on the world stage at the Met Gala inspired the River Runway, a Republic Day soiree, set to take place this Saturday, September 20th in New York City. The 2025 honorees are Victoria Britt, the Spirit of the Diaspora Award for Distinguished Community Service; Rick Davey, the Vanguard Award for Global Influence in Fashion; Nicole Dyer Griffith, well, I know this name, I'm very I'm aware of that name, the Beacon Award for Transformational Healing and Advocacy; Asha Lovelace, the Heritage Award for Cultural Stewardship in Film Programming. This one definitely I know for sure, and I've known my entire life. Dominic Calipasad, the Lifetime Achievement Award for Excellence in Journalism and Public Discourse. He was the face of Panorama on TTT back when I was a child growing up in the 80s and the 90s for sure. I'm not sure about the 80s. I was probably too young to remember who would have been the anchor reporter on TTT back then, but I knew for sure in the 90s, Dominic Calipasad. And then I think he went on to TV6, if I'm not mistaken, years later. Media icon, patron, and honorary chair of the event, Renee Cummings, says The River Runway aims to celebrate cultural pride, global diaspora impact, and philanthropy.
In its first installment, the River Runway will adopt the sophistication of the Met Gala, where style will meet impact in a night of celebration of 5 nationals. Media icon, patron, and honorary chair of the event, Renee Cummings, says the event aims to recognize the excellence and undeniable impact of the honorees.
But for me, one of the things that I always speak about is excellence. I believe my entire career speaks to that. The work that I do now speaks to that as well. But the other thing about me is I like to celebrate people. I think the journey that we live is not so much about celebrating ourselves, but it's celebrating others. And I always say that great nations become visible, not only by their excellence, but their excellence also makes them unforgettable. And the other thing I always say is that world class was invented in Trinidad and Tobago.
Titled a Republic Day Soiree, Ms. Cummings says the event speaks to sovereignty, with the greatest celebration of a nation being the celebration of each other.
It speaks to the sophistication of sovereignty. It also speaks to these individuals that are helping shape the future of Trinidad and Tobago. And when we think about Republic Day, we also think about this question of how do we mature as a country? How are we maturing as a nation? And excellence needs to be a critical part of that maturity. I think sometimes in Trinidad and Tobago, we speak about more of our challenges, and every country has challenges. But I think the beauty is to always rise above those challenges and celebrate the things that make us extraordinary.
The event is tied to a generous cause, with the proceeds directed to supporting a film program for young women, spearheaded by filmmaker Asha Lovelace.
So we decided we want to take the proceeds of this event and give it to Asha for her to build that program with these young women, transform their lives through film. And I know there are going to be young women in this program who will go on to probably become world-renowned filmmakers and who would obviously be able to use their own story of challenge and change it into a story of resilience and change it into stories that continuously across generations empower more and more Trinidad and Tobago nationals to embrace excellence.
The 2025 honorees will include Victoria Britt, receiving Spirit of the Diaspora Award for Distinguished Community Service; Rick Davey, the Vanguard Award for Global Influence in Fashion; Nicole Dyer Griffith will receive the Beacon Award for Transformational Healing and Advocacy; Asha Lovelace will receive the Heritage Award for Cultural Stewardship in Film Programming; and Dominic Kalipasad will be honored with the Lifetime Achievement Award for Excellence in Journalism and Public Discourse. Faith Chariot, TTT News.
You won't be disappointed with this one. Look and feel great every day. Painless trimming with no pulling of hair guaranteed. Comfortable to hold and lightweight. Intelligent anti-pinch system. Safety travel lock. Accurate and painless trimming. Durability, 100% quality. Fast charging. To place an order, call or WhatsApp 868-762-6589. Approximately 950 National Insurance Board of Trinidad and Tobago workers, NIB, are one step closer to receiving their outstanding back pay and arrears. Just in time for Christmas, people, that is really wonderful news. This as the Public Services Association, PSA, met with the management of NIBTT on Monday to sign off on the terms of the settlement. Monday's meeting follows instructions given by We the People's Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Kamla Persad-Bissessar, for the NIBTT to honor its commitment to pay outstanding monies owed to workers for the 2014 to the 2016 period. Thanks again to the Kamla Persad administration. Senator the Honorable Satya Kamamaraj, Minister of Trade, Investment and Tourism, unveiled plans for a new eco-conscious luxury resort and conference complex on the La Vache Peninsula, North Coast Trinidad, earlier today. In remarks at the soft launch, which was held at the Maracas Lookout, the minister hailed the project, which is being developed by local company GC Resorts Limited, as a catalyst for economic diversification, aligned with government's commitment to position our country as a premier destination for both tourism and business. So, of course, people, that's all part of the diversification strategy here in Trinidad and Tobago, just like how Guyana is doing that under the Irfan Ali administration. Now for some regional news, and we're starting off with Guyana. The embankments for 2 major canals in regions 5, Mahaika Berbice, and 6, East Berbice Quarantine, have been completed, paving the way for the construction of sluices and other critical infrastructure, according to Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa. So people, under the Irfan Ali administration, his government is continuing the progress and the development of Guyana just as they did for the past 5 years. Even though, of course, it's a new term in office, but they have continued where they have left off a couple of weeks ago. A 120-day timeline set for completion of foundations preparations underway for some 400 additional workers to speed up work on the landmark Gas to Energy GTE project is expected to be ramped up in the coming weeks to ensure that the promise of reduced energy costs to the populace is delivered as soon as possible. This was disclosed during a site visit led by Prime Minister Brigadier Mark Phillips and Minister of Public Utilities and Aviation Deodat Indar, following the first meeting of the new cabinet held on Monday. Progress, development as usual under the Irfan Ali administration. Having a place to finally call her own is now a reality for single mother Colleen Ben and her 3 children ages 13, 14, and 5. After decades of renting and moving between relatives' homes, Ben on Monday received the keys to her brand new at Lust and Rust, West Bank, Demerara, under the Ministry of Housing, Central Housing and Planning Authorities, Adequate Housing and Urban Accessibility Core Home Support Program. Did I say that over and over again? Everyone, all the citizens of Guyana are being served by the Irfan Ali regime equally. People, you must give credit when credit is due. And before I move on to the next news report, there was a part of it that I missed out pertaining to the same home ownership report. To date, 124 families have been selected to benefit from the Core Home Initiative on the West Bank of Demerara. Of these, 51 homes have already been handed over to the new owners, 50 are currently occupied, and 43 remain under construction. Service to the people, and that is what we have to be thankful for. Guyana-born educator Crystal Astwood has been recognized as New York City's inaugural Excellence in Human Service Delivery Awards, a landmark event that celebrated individuals and organizations making a difference in the lives of vulnerable New Yorkers. Congratulations to her as well. No more overheating phones. Cool your phones in seconds. Prevents damage to phones and battery issues. Better gaming experience and streaming. USB powered and fast charging. Lightweight and quiet. Ideal for kids and adults. Works with all smartphones. Makes a great gift. Enjoy free island-wide delivery. Call or WhatsApp 868-762-6589. Some news from Jamaica. As Andrew Holness, Prime Minister Andrew Holness, is sworn in today for a 3rd consecutive term as Prime Minister of Jamaica, he is expected to use his inaugural address to recommit integrity and transparency in his government and to outline tangible ways Jamaicans will benefit from the country's macroeconomic stability under his new administration. I wish him all the best. Congratulations to Dr. Andrew Holness and, of course, his entire team. And I hope and pray that Jamaica will see brighter days ahead for the next 5 years. Some travel news now. The city of Tucson, Arizona, sits on America's southern border, surrounded by the cactus-strewn landscapes of the Sonoran Desert. Its present-day creativity draws on its Native American and Mexican roots, Spanish colonial heritage, and wild west frontiers. Make you feel to watch our Western one time. The Sonoran Desert region has been home to Apache and other Native American peoples for centuries. In 1854, Mexico sold 30,000 square miles of the desert to the U.S., and the border moved from north of Tucson to 60 miles south of it. The desert is the greenest on the planet and sustains 2 of Arizona's 3 wine regions. One, Sonoita, is home to the Los Milix Vineyards Winery. The city, meanwhile, is a canvas for countless street artists, including London-based Finn BAC Dak, whose mural Burgess adorns the side of Charo Steak and Del Rey restaurant. Saudi Arabia stands as one of the world's leading producers of dates, a fruit deeply tied to the nation's culture and heritage. Recent reports show the kingdom producing over 1.9 million tons of dates annually. That's a whole lot. Harvested from more than 37 million palm trees, of which nearly 32 million are fruit-bearing. This vast output reflects both tradition and modern investment in agriculture. The government has actively supported farmers with improved cultivation techniques and initiatives to boost exports. You need assistance from the government, even here in Trinidad and Tobago, for agriculture, Guyana, wherever else in the region. As a result, Saudi dates now reach more than 130 countries, with Asia, Europe, and North America serving as major markets. Exports rose by nearly 16% in 2024 alone, underscoring their growing role in global trade. Beyond their economic importance, dates remain central to Saudi diets, often featured in daily meals and religious traditions. By combining heritage with innovation, Saudi Arabia is positioning its date industry as a symbol of both cultural pride and global outreach. You won't be disappointed with this one. Look and feel great every day. Painless trimming with no pulling of hair guaranteed. Comfortable to hold and lightweight. Intelligent anti-pinch system. Safety travel lock. Accurate and painless trimming. Durability, 100% quality. Fast charging. To place an order, call or WhatsApp 868-762-6589. Folks, that brings us to the end of today's news headlines. Thanks again to everyone who continues to support my content. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. Stay blessed and stay safe most of all. In Jesus' name.